everyone. I want to talk to you a little bit about ecosystems on farms. So one of the things I wanted to do when I bought this property, I want to put my hat on because it's a little bit hot, a couple of years ago, was to allow native grasses and just nature to kind of take back a little bit on this land to just feed pollinators, and I've kind of let areas of it go back wild almost. And you can see behind me, I'm going to turn the camera around if it will let me. You can see here there's a whole stretch of henbit in bloom, buttercups, clover, and then I do get this area mowed here, this part, and then at the back between the orchard and the pine trees in my neighbour's property line, I've let all the native grasses just grow in their natural state, because a farm is an ecosystem and we want to live in harmony with nature. We don't want to be fighting against it all the time, trying to spray chemicals and kill everything off and only growing certain crops. I think it's good to have a diverse amount of crops. That's why one of the reasons I love this property, because you've got an orchard, you've got blueberries, you've got muscadine grapes, you've got a garden area, we've got flowers for butterflies, we're composting, we've got the chickens, and collecting the rain, and just everything's trying to be in harmony with each other, and it works so much better. And some of the wildlife I've seen in a couple of years here is phenomenal. I've seen all kinds of different butterflies, including monarch butterflies. I've seen all kinds of different species of bees. I've seen toads and frogs and lizards and bluebirds and cardinals and all kinds of birds nesting and thriving here. It's amazing, and birds are a wonderful part of the landscape too, because they'll eat the little caterpillars that'll be eating your vegetables. Everything plays a role if we just allow it to be part of it, and we can just become part of nature. So there was a really great article I shared yesterday on the Facebook page of the farm about a guy in North Carolina who made it his mission to regrow native grasses and flowers in this area. And nobody thought he was crazy. They thought he was crazy for doing it at first. But now he's really successful, and he has a fantastic, successful seed company selling native grasses and kind of letting places go wild and back to they were a few hundred years ago. You can see the fields next door. They've been heavily sprayed with glyphosate. I know it's needed, but I do feel that a certain element of agriculture is very chemical dependent these days. And I also have a fear about dicamba drift long term, but I do know that farmers are very careful. It's volatile and they will reduce spray, but I just feel that they are in the midst of this kind of commodity crops. We need more small farms too. We all need lots of different kinds of farmers. I can't stress this enough. Growing diverse vegetable crops that we eat every day on our tables. So we need the farmers to grow our wheat and our corn and our soy and barley and all the other big crops in the fields. But we also need people. You see a little bluebird just went into the box over there. People doing home gardens and school gardens and community gardens and small scale agriculture to feed people as well locally. It's all part of a big patchwork and framework. And I also think we need to preserve heritage seeds and practices from years ago. The old ways are also just as important as modern agricultural methods, and we can use all the tools available to us to be better stewards of our land for future generations. Some thoughts from Rebecca, please chime in.